Okay guys, so I have this pepper plant here that's not doing well in this pot. So I need to pot it up. So I'm going to put it in this bigger pot and hopefully it doesn't die on me. Okay, let's see. That white thing that you're seeing is actually some cassava flour that I had. I just put it in this pot to act as compost. Alright, so we're going to put this pepper in here to salvage it because it's not doing well. And let's hope that it doesn't die and that it continues to grow. See the wind, where it was getting a lot of wind, and you see how it has bent. Anyway, let's see what happens with it in this pot here now. Just gonna do some weeding. The ground is extremely dry. Okay guys, so I have some Chinese cabbage here that I've decided I will pot up because I don't like how it was looking this morning, so I've decided I'm gonna pot it up. Oh no, my little stick here broke. Alright, I think I'm going to bottom water these because I noticed some of them, the bottom of it was extremely dry. So I'm just going to soak this container here and just allow them to soak in some of the water from the bottom. But I hope they continue to do well because like I said yesterday they were not looking good, and maybe because the bottom of their roots got dried out. So let's hope that they catch themselves. Okay guys, so I harvested some seasoning peppers and bush beans in my garden here, and now this bok choy here, I'm going to harvest it now. I have to break off the bottom, the root here. See if I can do that with one hand. You know what? I'm going to have to put on my camera. Okay guys, let's look at the garden. This is a pepper here. Fullets. What happened is that I had my greenhouse closed, and so the heat got to them. So I had to wet them to help to cool them down. So now the seedlings are catching themselves a little bit, but I forgot to open it this morning, and so it was very heated. But as you can see, they're getting big, and very soon I'm going to transplant them into some pots. So these are Chinese cabbage here, and these are peppers. Over here, remember we had our volunteer plants that came up? Well, it turns out it is squash. If you look here, you see we have one squash here. Here we have our kale. On top here I have my sage. This is cilantro. My spring onions. My parsley. My romaine lettuce. Some more spring onions. Some more romaine lettuce coming up. And this is arugula, but I have to uproot it because it's old now. I have lemongrass here. So this is my seasoning pepper tree. It has some seasoning peppers on it. Here, some more arugula, bok choy. We have some red cabbage between here. I left these leaves here that I have cut off my colored green plant to act as mulch to help retain the moisture in the soil. That's why I left it here. So this here's my colored green plant. We have our sweet basil that has gone to flower, as you can see. On the side here, we have a lawn tomato plant. There's some string beans there. I'm seeing one string bean in the corner there. This is my cucumbers. You can see how they have gotten big. It looks good. This is a pepper plant here. This is another pepper plant here. We have some string beans in the back there as well. Our tomatoes getting big. I see a baby tomato. Do you see it? Yeah, there you go. See that? There's a baby tomato. We have some red cabbage down there as well. This is radish. We have some red cabbages over here. This is another radish here. We have our bell pepper here, one bell pepper. It's another bell pepper plant here. You can see, let's see if we can get this to focus. I think you could see there's some buds, can you? Well, they're really small. But anyway, we have our two bell peppers. And here we have our tomatoes on this side here. I find this tomato here looks like it's starting to ripen. We have some smaller tomatoes here. Some seasoned peppers. We also have some seasoned peppers here as well. This is a big one. It's a big one. This is not good. See this white thing here? We don't want that. Is there a hornworm on this again? I had to remove the hornworm from this plant. You see how this is stripped? That was because of a hornworm. I did find it, but I'm looking at this over here, and to me this looks like if I need to look for another hornworm. Thing is, they're so hard to find because they blend in so nicely. Alright, well, I'm not seeing a hornworm. If I do, I don't know if that was from the same one that ate it initially. Alright, but anyway, that's it, guys. These are all my tomatoes, and hopefully they ripen and I get to enjoy it. Okay, guys, so I just wanted to show you how I'm getting my pots prepared for planting again. Okay, so this pot here, it had a plant in it once upon a time, and so I want to put some new plants in. So I'm getting all my pots prepared. I've already done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I have to do this one. So I just wanted to show you what I'm doing. I'm actually emptying the pot into a bucket that I have here. So I'm just digging down, taking out as much soil as I can. Now there's a lot of worms in a lot of my pots here, which is a very good sign. Because remember, the plant that was in here before would have used up all the nutrients. So that's why in order to put a new plant in, we want to get the pot prepared. So we're going to empty the pot to some extent. I don't know if you can see, but I am going down a little bit here. And as I go down, I could see I'm seeing worms and so forth. And also by doing this, I'm also helping to break up and aerate the soil as well, because it tends to start to clump up a bit after some time. Oh, look at this big, let me show you this worm here. Look at the size of this worm, guys. You see that? That's a huge worm there. So just going to take out this here. Let me put this camera a little higher so you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm just loosening up the sides here. So what I'm going to do now, I think I've taken up enough out. I am going to put some compost that I have here. Now this compost is not broken down sufficiently, but I'm still going to put it at the bottom here because the worms will feed on it and help to break it down. Right? I have one more to do, so I'll leave this for that pot over there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I have a bag here that I have some mushroom compost. I'm going to put some of that on top. Okay, right, and now the rest we're going to fill back up the pot. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I have a bag, I have some bone meal here. So I'm going to put some bone meal, mix it in. And this is how I'm preparing all my pots for a new set of plants. I have another bag here with some vegetable and tomato granular food. I'll put some of that here, work it in. Each pot has some nutrients, fresh nutrients for the new plant. Yeah? And then I cover it back with the rest soil. There you go. So this pot is now ready for a new plant. Look, there's a big worm here. See that? Let's cover it up. I think I'm going to put actually 2 Chinese cabbage in this pot. So I'm going to put one over here, and I'm going to put another one over here. There you go. So guys, I just wanted to show you how I got my pots prepared for a new plant. Okay guys, so I have some Chinese cabbage that I want to plant in here. And I'm going to actually plant 2 Chinese cabbage in this pot here. Okay, so let's make a hole here. What is this in here? Oh, I left my scissors over there. Alright, so we're going to make a hole here. Alright, hopefully that's good. We're going to put one in here. So we can get it straight. There's a worm. Alright, so we have 1 Chinese cabbage in. And I'm going to put the other Chinese cabbage here. Alright, there you have it. Alright guys, so our, oh, there's a baby centipede. Don't know if I got it. Anyway, so we got our Chinese cabbage in. I'm going to work on transplanting the rest of Chinese cabbages. So I'm here in my garden to check out a few things. We're going to look at the Chinese cabbage that I transplanted, and we also want to pick a ripe papaya that I noticed on my papaya tree. Okay guys, so as you can see, I transplanted my Chinese cabbages into these pots. So I have these here, I have these here, and I have these here. So these are all my Chinese cabbages transplanted. So I have a papaya tree here, and I noticed that there's a ripe papaya on it. So I am going to pick it. It looks like something tried to eat it already. So this here, guys, this is called a papaya or pawpaw. Of course, the leaves of the papaya tree of course the leaves of the papaya tree is very beneficial. I did a video some years ago on the benefits of the papaya leaf. So feel free to check it out. I will leave a link in the description for that video on the benefits of papaya leaf. But just to highlight one thing, it does help to raise your platelets. So yeah, the leaf of the papaya is very beneficial. But this is the ripened papaya fruit. If we look here guys at this tomato, you can see that this tomato here is starting to ripen. And you can see this tomato here is also starting to ripen. So guys, I noticed on my bell pepper plant that there is a young bell pepper coming out here. So I don't like how these new leaves look. They look sick. I don't like that at all. This is my cucumber plants. As you can see, they are looking nice and healthy. And I notice I'm seeing young, let me see if I can get that. I'm seeing young cucumbers here. Did I see any over here? Yeah, well, I am actually seeing some there. Look at another one here as well. So this is a good sign because it looks good and I'm seeing cucumbers coming up. So I'm here in my garden because I noticed this morning that one of my tomatoes was showing early signs that it wanted to split. Doing some research, I learned that it could either be one of two things that can cause that, either too much watering or too little watering, and then getting watered again, whether it be via the rain or you, can also cause it to split. So if there was like periods of complete dryness and then you just added a whole set of water, that can cause it to split. Or if you're watering too much, all that amount of moisture going up into the fruit can cause it to split. I think I might be guilty of maybe giving it a little too much water. So what they were saying is that closer to the fruit ripening, you want to give it less water, so that does not happen. But if you do see signs of it happening, this recommendation is to pick the fruit before it starts splitting. So that's what I'm going to do. I really did not want to do that. I would have much preferred that the fruit ripen on the plant itself. It tends to be sweeter that way. But because I don't want it to split, I will pick it now and I'm going to put it on my windowsill so it will continue to ripen that way. And what I'm going to do is kind of hold back on how much water I'm giving my tomato plants now so that this doesn't happen. So if you look at the fruit here, you can see this here. It's called a radial split. Well, it hasn't split as yet, but I'm seeing that, where is it gone? There you are. It hasn't split as yet, but this is a sign that it wants to split right here. So I'm seeing it here and I'm seeing it behind there, right? So before that happens, I will harvest it now and I will just put it, like I said, on the windowsill so that it can ripen that way. So by doing this here, I'm picking it now before it splits, I will save it from actually splitting, okay? And what I'm going to do, like I said, is hold back on the amount of water I'm giving these plants. So I just thought I would share that thought with you in case you see that happening to yours. Maybe it's because you're not watering enough or giving it too much water closer to the time of ripening. I have another one here that is also ripening as well. So I will definitely, like I said, hold back on the amount of water that I'm giving them at this point in time because I really don't want that splitting to take place. This is a big one over here. That's a huge one. Guys, you see this here? This is leaf minor damage. So I'm just going to pinch off this leaf. Here's a leaf minor damage. So which means the leaf miners have laid their eggs and they are going after the leaves. I'm going to have to spray some neem oil on these tomato plants.